According to officials, El Paso, Texas is seeing a large, seemingly unmanageable influx of migrants. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says they've seen just over a 1,600% increase in the number of families apprehended within this fiscal year at the city's port of entry.
Local bus stations and churches have become transitional locations for many of them throughout several southern U.S. cities. Reporter Austin Westfall was in El Paso and got a first-hand look at the situation. Austin?
Yeah, El Paso has become a significant example of why U.S. officials say the country's immigration system is at its breaking point.
Now we have to rush to the bus stop.
Israel Cabrera is the associate pastor of Caminos de Vida, a church in El Paso taking in migrants after immigration and customs enforcement drops them off.
Dina Lopez.
He's spending part of his day shuttling 14 people to the local airport and Greyhound bus station.
They were overwhelmed with joy. Someone said, this happiness that we feel is priceless.
It wasn't easy. We were very cold and always hungry. The food isn't good and it was very limited. Thank God that we are here.
Cabrera said the 14 people were part of a group of about 90 that ICE dropped off at his church a few nights before. All the migrants were once held in the same area seen in these photos. Dozens of them, including children, were housed behind a razor-wired fence under a bridge near Customs and Border Protection. The image is going viral and inciting public outcry.
Many of them said, tonight we no longer sleep on the rocks, we no longer sleep in dirt, we have a bed.
This has scarred our lives, our minds, and at times we suffer for our kids, for something better for them. And I come from Honduras, and the situation of my country is not good, and that's why we looked for something better.
But officials say the large number of people looking for something better is causing a crisis at the southern border.
And nowhere has that crisis manifested more acutely than here in El Paso.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin K. McAleenan saying at a press conference last month that almost 3,500 migrants were in custody in the city that morning. Their facilities are designed to hold much less than that.
We had over 1,000 apprehensions in this one sector alone on Monday and encounters at our port of entry. The vast majority, again, families from Central America.
Many families like Castillo's are now en route to other U.S. cities courtesy of a sponsor. But not every migrant family has a ticket out of El Paso. This group of migrants was dropped off at the Greyhound bus station around 8:30 one night. Greyhound employees would not allow anyone to stay inside if they did not have a bus ticket. It's 56 degrees out here. Children are cold, and volunteers like this are showing up and they're helping out any way they can. That volunteer giving a hug is Doris Reamer.
I brought some bags that have like tarps and socks and a little bit of food.
She isn't affiliated with any activist group, church, or government agency. She says she simply came to help those in need.
I went back in and asked if they could please go back in because it's so cold. For the kids, it's cold.
Reamer was hoping church volunteers would eventually come and provide the families with a place to sleep at night, but that hadn't happened by the time our team left the area. Why do you do what you do?
Because we're all brothers and sisters. We're children of God. For love.
This administration wants to undermine due process for migrants as much as they can.
Robert Hyman is the policy director for Border Network for Human Rights, an El Paso group that advocates for immigration policy change. He says BNHR is working with local lawmakers on policies to increase personnel at ports of entry and promote transparency among agencies like ICE and Customs and Border Protection.
If we're able to restore the asylum system to the way that it should be working, that it was designed to work, and we're able to make CBP and ICE and this administration put a greater prominence on treating people humanely, then we'll have made real progress.
The only way to fundamentally address these flows is for Congress to act and to reinstate integrity into our immigration system.
Now, by March 2018, CBP's El Paso sector had apprehended about 3,000 migrant families. By the same time this year, that number is already over 53,000. Since that press conference with McAleenan, President Trump has named him the acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, replacing Kirstjen Nielsen, who left the position Sunday. In the studio, Austin Westfall, Cronkite News.